So we just released our latest blog on the TAP SPINAIDs, so the 4-seam version and the 2-seam version. And if you haven't checked it out, I strongly encourage you to. It breaks down the why behind the SPINAIDs, like how it works, why it works, and that sort of thing. It provides some of the research that backs it up. It does a really great in-depth job, so I strongly encourage you to go check it out. But today, it's a nice day. I've got me and my buddy Dre over here, and we just kind of wanted to show you kind of how you could actually implement it. That's one thing that blogs and having written or authored a lot of articles and stuff right now, it's really hard to put into words what you can actually show somebody. So we're just going to play catch a little bit here. Give us some grace. You know, we're kind of past our prime when it comes to actually throwing a baseball, but we just kind of want to show you a little bit, maybe talk you through a little bit, and yeah, just highlight some of it. So first off, we're going to start off with the 4-seam, and all I'm trying to do is get that ball to spin efficiently. So it's really easy to tell if it's efficient or not because it won't wobble. Dre does a great job throwing it back. He's got a lot higher arm slot, so his comes back a little bit more 12-6 on the axis, whereas mine is a little bit more 3/4. That one had a little bit of wobble right there. It was actually kind of interesting. So Dre and I were talking about this the other day, but whenever I played, oh, that was a good one for wobble. Whenever I played, I suffered a lot. I ended up having Tommy John, and one of the things I struggled a lot was a really weak glove side and a really strong head yank, and that would lead me to what like the Texas Baseball Ranch would call forearm flyout, and what they would also call an early launch. And so I was talking to him the other day whenever I was trying to put together the article, and truthfully, I think something like this would have really helped me to actually try to get more behind the ball, get out in front, get into kind of this late launch. And it probably would have actually helped me with some of my movement patterns too. Obviously, I'm not saying that this is going to make you throw more efficiently and everything else, but it's a pretty interesting tool that some of the external feedback that it provides can actually affect what the internal organism, the person, is actually doing. So I'm going to throw a few more here. One of the things that the article does that explains really well is, yes, we're looking for spin efficiency, but also too, we're also looking at the axis. If you can get a consistent axis, or maybe you don't want a consistent axis, but if you know where your pitch is coming from, at what angle, you can build other pitches off of that repertoire. You can build it off of that tunnel. And then if you want something different, you can make it different. That's kind of what the beauty of exploring and finding out and self-guiding is. One of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go to a curveball. So it's a really easy way to grip it, especially if you throw more of like a 4-seam style curveball. I did. Our good friend and high school coach Todd Foley was talking to us a lot about how his guys throw curveballs every single day, and it's with the SPINAIDs, so it's very light intent. So they're not out there, you know, hammering 20, 25 curveballs off a mound, but they are getting the feel for the curveball every single day, which allows them to be much better at throwing it. So you can see it's a little harder to throw the off speed or the curveball with the SPINAID, which is good because it provides that feedback that you really want. That's pretty good. Again, you can see the axis on it, which is really good. You can see if it plays well off your fastball. You can see how efficient you are with the spin with it. Just a really good feel tool. Um, again, like what Todd talks about is because it's such low intent. I mean, this is just catch play. And this is one of the best ways to use the SPINAID because you can really kind of explore. You can start to find things out more about how you throw, what you throw, how your pitch actually moves. All of that without needing like a whole bunch of high-tech gadgets. I mean, don't get me wrong, all of the TrackMans and everything else are a great tool, but a lot of people don't have that at their disposal every day. We're just out in the yard playing catch, and we can find out a lot about how we throw the ball and what our ball does. So that's the 4-seam. We'll get into the 2-seam. 2-seam was kind of my grip. I always loved throwing the 2-seam. The way that my arm kind of unraveled, it allowed me to get more movement laterally. So same thing here. We're just trying to get efficient spin. I love the way this feels a lot better. Just for me, this is definitely a better grip. Throw a couple more here. All right. So now we're going to get into maybe a different type of curveball, different slider grip. Anything that plays off of this 2-seam really well, you can use. This isn't my natural curveball grip or anything like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it and kind of show you. Whoop. See, I kind of wonder if I can be a little bit more of a slider here. Let me see. That felt a lot better. See, this is the point of it. You just kind of figure out more about what your capabilities are. What's comfortable to you, what you can and can't throw right now. Doesn't mean you can't throw it in the future. And then the last thing is changeups. I didn't talk too much about changeups with the 4-seam SPINAID. You can throw it. It kind of goes end over end, so it kind of does this nature. So with a 2-seam, there's a lot of guys moving to a 2-seam changeup, and obviously they're relying more on the middle finger and the ring finger to be able to kill speed, but also to actually present the movement that they need to actually get the action on the ball that they want. So naturally, a 2-seam changeup is going to go great with a 2-seam SPINAID grip. And all I'm going to do is hook my middle finger and ring finger on it, index off, and throw it. Yeah, so on some grips, probably not the 2-seam changeup itself, but if you're a little bit more of a pronator and you throw more of a pronated changeup, you're actually going to see wobble. And again, feedback is feedback. It's not good or bad. It just provides you something that you can base it off of. So if you have consistent wobble with a pronated changeup, then that may be what you want. You may want it to wobble, but you want it to be like a consistent wobble. You want to be able to consistently put it to where you want it to. So if it spikes it in the dirt, or one goes way up north, then it may not be very comfortable for you. You may not be very efficient at it. If it wobbles sometimes and it doesn't wobble sometimes, that means you're not probably very consistent with the release. So, you know, for a two-seam changeup here, the action that I should get should give me a little bit more efficient spin. I was not a two-seam changeup guy. I was a pronated changeup guy. So his wobbles. He was also, you threw a pronated changeup? All right, so he threw more of a straight change, but the way that the straight change kind of works, he had to pronate a little bit. So I was a heavy circle change or seed change guy, and so mine would go into pronation. I'm just going to do that right now, just kind of see. So here, whoop, handcuffed you. Then also too, the good thing when just playing catch is you can get some feedback from partner too. Like on that last one, how much did it really wobble that much? Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting it to go a little bit more wobble, and I felt like that's what kind of actually handcuffed you, was the fact that it didn't. Now let's, you know, let me try it again and let's see if it wobbles or if it stays true, and then I can base it off of that if that's kind of what I'm wanting to go for. So it really didn't wobble, huh? So that's something that I wouldn't have guessed. So it's kind of neat to be able to just see that action, um, and then again you can get feedback from your partner. So see, his has been pretty consistent. Like yours wobbles a little bit. It's not an end over end action. It wobbles. It has that consistent axis on it too. So you can tell. The one thing that's kind of unique about him is he has more of a 12-6 action on his fastball, but his changeup is definitely tilted more. Same thing with his slider slash curveball. It was definitely tilted. So it's like those were kind of maybe more your normal natural arm slot, and maybe you were trying to get more over the top whenever you were throwing the two seam or the four seam fastball. So I'm just going to finish it here with a couple two seams. Love the sound of it hitting the leather. All right, guys, that's it. So that just gives a little brief little tutorial um, on how you could implement spinaids in your throwing program. Two seam, four seam, the different pitch styles. The biggest thing is explore, learn from it. You know, every time you have catch play, you should be learning something about either the way that you're throwing, either like movement patterns, or the release, or where the ball is going, or pitch shaping, or whatever. Every time you play catch, every time you throw a ball, it's an opportunity to learn. And that's all that the spinaids are. They're a great feedback tool that provides you an exaggerated feedback so that you can see it more clearly. Whereas if you were throwing a round ball, it'd be very hard to tell, hey, I kind of got on the side of the ball there a little bit. Hey, I kind of did this. I didn't get behind the ball here. So it just provides that exaggerated feedback that you can learn from. Again, this is not something that you just throw like a spinaid or whatever. You would certainly want to integrate it with a regular baseball. Always kind of blend for a carryover effect. But there you have it, guys. Like I said, if you haven't, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and read the article on the spinaid, the four seam and two seam. Find out the more in-depth reason of why it works and how it works. And we'll see you next time.